Are you relatively happy with the point here, or can you not be happy with the point here?
Good, valuable point on the road. After this story of the game, obviously we go into each and every game in order to win it. Like I mentioned before, we just dance on the table with 3 points. But if you can't win it, then you have to make sure that you don't lose it. And I love the attitude of my lads. After a bit slow start into this game, but then the more the game went on, we pushed more and more for the equalizer. We won each and every statistic. Normally we would have deserved to win this game. But yeah, Preston, they are unbeaten in 6, especially at home. It's difficult to create chance to score goals against them. But if you equalize them in added time, it's definitely a valuable point and important point. So yeah, I was not happy with our first 20 minutes, but then with the reaction of my lads, and after a tough week with the third game within 7 days, and to add the 7th point is valuable, and compliments for the second half.
Do you have that sense at the moment your team needs to get in front away from home, and the problem comes if you fall behind?
It's always easy, yeah, of course. I was not happy with our first 20 minutes because we allowed them exactly one chance in the whole game, especially in the first half, and they scored out of this. Otherwise, we're just pushing for it. But I think I always speak about we need to control their counterattacks. And of course, we can lose also a game on the 80-yard box line of the opponent when you have to take some risk. But our reaction has to be better. Our move up, lock on was not good. Our counter pressing was not good. It was excellent in our last home game, but not in the first 20 minutes. Our sprinting back was not good. Then the ball in between goalkeeper and centre back should be never possible. And then you have to be a bit more switched on to handle this situation, to save it. I think it was a really cheap goal. And, you know, in place like this, we don't have the quality like whatever Barcelona in their prime or Man City in the prime. We say, okay, no problem, then we win it 7-1. It's then a really tough place, and you have to fight for it. And for that, I was annoyed with conceding such a cheap goal. But then, yes, you have to stay patient. We have tried everything, first of all, with offensive changes, and we changed the base formation. In the end, we just had more or less offensive thinking players on the pitch. Should have equalized earlier, I have to say, and normally we should have won this game. But I liked also that we kept the nerves, dealt with all their counterattacks, and scored also that late. It's good for our confidence, good for our reputation, and also good for the table. We're still on the 2-point average, and in the end, point is always a valuable point, especially on the road in such a tough place. So after this story of the game, definitely a good point.
You were testing me with the formation at the end, weren't you? I think the determination of the boys, at least, because they kept believing. Others may not have done. We thought maybe today wasn't going to be our day, but in the end, we got that goal.
Yes, and what I like, I would have been pleased with our reaction even without equalizing, but that we have also something to cheer about is more important, because obviously we have a young side, and they know, okay, they were a bit criticized because they have lost 2 away games 1-0 and were not able to equalize. And then we spoke about what we have to do in such a moment. We prepared them also for this. First of all, I would have preferred not to go back, but then also to deal again with this challenge and to do it much better than we did, for example, at Blackburn. This delights me, and I want to see that we develop as a team, that my young lads develop, and also that, yeah, also to know that we can chip in with goals also late, also with players from the bench, also in added time. It's good for our confidence and good for our reputation in the whole league, and for that, yes, again, I'm not dancing on the table tonight, but definitely happy with the point.
Daniel, should there have been 10 men that you were up against in the second half after that little incident on the edge of the penalty area, the yellow card that wasn't?
You know, after a game I never ask for red cards and yellow red cards or something like this, but what I'm struggling a little bit with is in the first half it was a clear incident. Yeah, I think it was Whiteman on the edge of the box with a nasty foul with a straight leg, and it's a clear yellow card, at least a yellow card. They want to go to the fourth official in order to claim for it. And yeah, never experienced more or less in my coaching career that I can have an argument with Paul or whatever, no problem, or even with the fourth official. But then one of their staff members comes and want to get me away from the fourth official. I'm struggling with it. What should I do? So, oh, okay, mate, I'll sit down and you talk to him. Anyhow, so I think for a manager who is here more than 200 games in this league and has achieved a little bit, I think no problem when I have an argument with the other manager, but not any of their staff member, whoever it was, and I didn't know him. That's not possible. And then I also have to show some steel and can't say, okay, listen, then I sit down, I don't talk to him. Still struggling to understand why I get the yellow card for this. But nowadays you never know, so sometimes the rules are changed. I had just the rule that just one person is allowed to talk to the fourth official, not like from the other coaching staff 4 or 5, and definitely not when the manager is talking, that any staff member comes around. So if I then at this point have to go away and say, listen mate, I sit down, then it's not my football anymore, but I have to check the rules again, perhaps they've changed them again. But I tell you what, I will always do this, and when I have to show flag and also Steve for this club and my players, I will always do this, and I think I'm allowed as a manager to ask why this was not a send-off. I was annoyed that it was not a send-off, but then to give me a yellow card for this, I have to calm myself a little bit down. So it was a good point tonight.
Peace and goodwill to all men, Daniel.
Good,
a good
thank
point. Thank you.